I never know say me a interview or audition for marriage. Me never tell you say I married you. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back guys to another video on the channel. I am so excited about my growth. I'm just growing organically on here and I am absolutely loving it, and I'm excited about what's to come. It seems like y'all like the consistency, so I'm gonna keep consistent for y'all, and in turn I want y'all to do something for me, because if I'm gonna be consistent, of course I also want the support. So remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, like this video like all my other videos, comment, share with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend for tell a next friend, so for come over here so and join my community. So tonight I am going to be spilling the tea, so it would not be right for me to be spilling the tea without some actual tea. So that's what we will be doing tonight, is to be talking about a very uncomfortable topic for me. It's a very uncomfortable topic, and I wish I didn't have to talk about this tonight or any other night, because I just thought I had left this in the past and I just didn't want to revisit this topic. But against my better judgment, I created a poll on Instagram like I always do, and in the poll I had a couple of different options of topics that y'all wanted to hear me discuss tonight, and of course I'm gonna pick the one about man, cause as I always tell you, uno love man bad, uno love man bad. So I'm gonna talk about it tonight once and for all, and after tonight y'all will never hear me speak on this topic again. Okay? Yeah, honestly I feel so uncomfortable talking about this. I don't know where to start, I don't know what to say, I just don't know what to tell y'all about this, because I'm all talked out. Like I don't think I've ever addressed it on the internet, and I never thought I ever would, because it's just a private thing and it's just a personal thing, and it's something you should take to your grave, you know. Enough of the preamble. So we're gonna talk about why I no longer like men, and by extension who made me like this, who broke my heart. So a part of the reason why I'm sharing this story is as a cautionary tale, and I'm sure that by the end of this video you will understand what the tale is and why you should take precaution. Okay, but let's start by saying I wasn't always such a cynic when it came to love. I was a hopeless romantic. In some ways I think I still am. I think I still love love. I love being in love. I love how it makes me feel, and I don't know, but maybe it will find me again. But for now I am just in a space where I am okay being alone. I'm fine with it, totally fine with it. As I told y'all in the last chit chat video, I don't really sit around and think I wish I had a man and I miss this person anymore, because there was one time in my life when that's all I could think about, when this person is all I could think about. And I think I just grew up, and I had to grow up very fast and realize that the world isn't centered around me. It's not centered around my feelings or my needs. So I have to just be okay with someone not being in my life anymore. And I think that's what happened. But let's start from the beginning, because how else can we start? I think my first heartbreak in life was my father. And that's another topic that is very, very, very touchy for me, because I don't like talking about family, especially on the internet. I'm not the type of person who you will ever see going back and forth on the internet with anybody at all. But I don't really like to air my family's business out on the internet, because I feel like we're all humans. We've all made mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes myself. And while a lot of what happened to me is my story to tell, it involves other people, and maybe they've grown from what they've done. Maybe they have seen the light. Maybe they are in a different space right now. So for me to rehash and bring it back up, I just don't think it would be fair. But in the effort of being honest, I just have to say that was my first heartbreak in life, and I feel like that's where a lot of my issues came from. Um, you know how girls are supposed to have a strong father figure, kids in general are supposed to have a strong father figure there in their lives, so pretty much guide them and love them and teach them the ways of the world in a way that a mother never could and never will be able to do. And I feel like my father was not there for me in that way, and he was always there physically. He was always present in my life. I never knew a time when my father wasn't around in some way or another. I may not have been living with him all my life, but I always knew where my father was. I always saw him very often. I always was around him. So physically he was there, but emotionally, mentally, in the other ways that a girl needs her father, I just did not have my father in that way. In fact, um, without going down the rabbit hole, I think a lot of my trauma and my damage came from a lot of the things that I experienced with my father, from my father, and because of my father. So I never really had an example to say, this is the kind of man I want. You know, girls should have a father that they can, like, men date their mothers in women. I feel like, especially in my case, the men I've dated are very close to their mothers, and when they start dating me, I become like, not really a mother, but something close to their mother. Yeah. And I feel like women do the same. We look for our fathers in men, good or bad. And yeah, he was not a positive influence, and he just was not there the way I would have expected or wanted him to be. And as a result, I would attribute a lot of my hurt to that. I'm a grown woman right now, and I try not to victimize myself. I'm not a victim. I don't see myself as a victim, and I don't like to dwell on those things either. I don't like to say, oh, this is why I am effed up, because my father did this, my mother did this, my friend did this. I am effed up because a lot of it has to do with me and the way I interpreted, and the way just the way I chose to live, right? But yeah, I feel like it goes back there, okay? Anyways, as bad as my experiences with my father was, I had some good experiences, and um I'd like to say a lot of how he raised me um helped me to be who I am today. Cool. So nobody is completely bad and nobody is completely good. We have bad and we have good in all of us, okay? So he did a lot of shit, but he did a lot of cool stuff too, okay? Yeah. So let's just put that out there. My first relationship, now let's get into it, cause it's a love man, I know that's not come about. So yeah, I was very young when I got into this relationship, and it quickly became everything to me. My whole personality became about this person. um, I felt like I lost myself. Now that I think about it, I felt like I lost who I was, or who I was on the verge of becoming in that moment, because I took a detour and I became somebody else completely. And I didn't have a problem with it. Um, in that moment, I felt like that's where I wanted to be, that's what I wanted to be doing. So, yeah, it was cool to me. And that's just all I wanted to focus on, just being in a relationship. And I see young girls these days having that same mentality and that same attitude, and it kind of makes me, I don't know how to describe what I feel when I see it, but the caution here is never enter into something, especially a relationship, with that kind of mindset that this person is the be all end all of your life. Like, your life is way more than a man or a woman. um and your life can be much more. And don't say no to certain opportunities, don't say no to certain things. Don't just create a new you to fit into somebody else's life. And I feel like that's where I went wrong. I don't want to, I don't think I'm gonna get all into the story. I'm not gonna say every single detail of what happened. What I want to say is, however, what the dream that I had been sold is not what I received in the end, okay? And men have a way of selling you a dream, and they package it so beautifully, and they just put a bow and a ribbon on it, and they sell it to you as if this is the best thing in the world. And then you realize that it's not all it was chalked up to be. By the way, I'm drinking oregano, ginger, and um, soursop leaf tea right now, and it's really good. Yeah, so I think where I went wrong is I pretty much made my whole life about this person. I didn't want to do anything without him. I didn't want to go anywhere without him. And I'm sure just by listening to that, if you have any sense, like, I feel like my followers and subscribers are around a certain age group. So you should have some knowledge, and based on what I'm saying right now, you should see the direction that this is going in. Once you start making your whole life about someone else, it's gonna get pretty bad pretty fast, okay? It's gonna get very toxic. It's just gonna be very bad, okay? So that's what happened. The toxicity followed very quickly, because, of course, this person was everything to me, and I just wanted to do everything with him. And quickly I realized that things were changing with him. In the beginning, he was also like that. He wanted to do everything with me, wanted to have all the experiences with me. But I feel like as he started to experience life and to experience certain things and have certain things, that quickly changed for him, because he now realized that I'm desired. I'm like a catch, and there are girls after me. So let me explore that. And I just didn't want that type of. I didn't want that to happen, because this is my world and this is where I want to be. So the moment I feel like he's starting to want to explore other things, it drove me crazy. Long story short, I became my worst self when that relationship ended. I feel like I had lost a lot of who I was in the relationship, but when the relationship ended, I lost even more of me, because remember, this was my whole identity. Like, everybody who knew me, this is the only man anybody had ever seen me with. Um, this is the only person I'd ever introduced to my family, taken home. Um, and it was a lot. It was a lot when it ended. I was thinking about the church. I was thinking about what people would say, people on the internet, because of course, silly old me posted everything that was going on in my life while it was happening, and so now I had to go through and take down all of these videos and pictures and all of that good stuff, and it was just not fun. And it broke me. Some of the things that made me crazy was, I remember I had access to his Facebook account at the time, and I say I went into this man's Facebook account and I was just reading through the messages he was sending to people and people were sending to him. And some of the people who I knew and who knew me and I thought were friends at the time were in his DMs. And the messages that were being exchanged, I don't know what to tell you, say. Honestly, I don't know how to describe the pain. My chest feel like, you know, like when your chest feels so tight, but at the same time it feels like somebody will rip out your heart out of your chest. That's exactly what I feel, what I felt. I couldn't understand how somebody who had seen all of me, promised to be there and to stay forever, would just at the earliest convenience just decide that I don't want to stay anymore. I couldn't understand that concept, and I didn't respond to that well. I just went into a state and I went down a rabbit hole for years after that. Everything I did was to get this person to see me, to get him to talk to me. And I did some really, really, really crazy Yamid type shit. I did some really crazy Yamid type shit. Like, um, yeah, without saying too much, like, I did a lot of shit and I said a lot of shit. And um, in my mind, I just wanted this person to see me and to know that I am still here and I'll still be here and whatever. So yeah, I went down. I think that changed, as I said before, changed who I am right now, and it just made me into a different person completely. Because I was very soft and I was very naive, and as I said, I saw everything black and white, but that situation just made me very cold and very callous in a lot of ways. Okay, so I just had to take a moment, but I'm not a quitter, so I'm just gonna end this video because my dress up and look pretty and everything for the video. So I'm gonna end it by just giving you some thoughts and some tips. If you are a young woman watching this video, I just want you to take precaution when it comes on to men. Never ever think that men are everything. Men are not everything, okay? A relationship is not everything. Um, there are so many people out there working themselves into depression because they don't have a man and they don't feel like they are being loved or whatever, and whatever it is in the relationship that makes them feel like this would make them whole, they are craving for that and they're just very unhappy. And I know people like that. I used to be like that, and I just want to say to you, if that's where you are right now, pick up yourself, brush off yourself, put yourself together and move on. And the moving on may not be into somebody else's arms. I hope it won't be, because really and truly you're just using one bad situation and a new person to cover up the hurt from the old person. And I would not recommend that at all. Just find yourself, find who you are, who you want to be, and just focus on that. You are where God wants you to be in this moment. And if it is a place of singleness, enjoy that moment. When I think about it now, I realize that really and truly, I'm not in a space where I'm ready to accommodate a relationship. And I have to be very honest, brutally honest with myself. I have to just say it as it is. And when I look at the way I live, the way I want to live, that's not conducive for a relationship. I don't like sharing my space anymore. I don't want to have to explain to somebody that I just want to go somewhere for a week. I just want to be here, be there. I don't want to have to ask somebody if I can go out with my friends. Um, I don't want to have to always be catering to a man and to be concerned about what he wants to eat, how he's feeling, and to be mindful of his feelings and his emotions. That's not something that I want to do at this stage in my life. And it that may change because um I'm not saying it's never gonna change, and this perspective right now is always gonna be my perspective, but that's where I am right now. I'm just learning about myself. I'm taking this time to learn about myself and to really understand who I am and what I want to do, right? So it's not conducive for a relationship at this point. Um, so I'm just living my best life in the way I want to live it, right? Living my best life right now does not mean I'm outside every weekend partying, um, or shaking my ass. It's not like it's not about that. It's not that I want to be doing those things. Either it's just about me learning to be okay with who I am, because I realized that a lot of the things that I accepted in the past is because I didn't know who I am or who I was. And I accepted these things because I was allowing someone to define me. Um, and that just cannot continue. That's not the way to go, right? So never do that. Never allow people to define you. Never allow somebody to tell you who you are or who they expect you to be. These days, I'm very, very mouthy. And when I say mouthy, like you could say something simple. Like the other day, I remember I was talking to this guy, like just in the talking stage, and he got me so tight because he saw me wear something on the road, and he was just in his feelings about it and kept telling me, oh, he wouldn't marry a woman who dresses a certain way. And I was like, um I never know say me a interview or audition for marriage. I never tell you someone married you. I never told you that. And I never once said this is what I want with you. I never said that. And I never gave well, I don't think I gave that impression because that's just not where I am at. So for him to be in my skin about what I feel comfortable wearing was just a turn off for me, and that made me really annoyed. And I realized that with relationships, especially if you are looking for something long term and you're looking for marriage, like a lot of women are these days, it seems, um, that just would not be the attitude you need to take into a relationship. I guess you would need to be more. I don't even want to define what I think it would take, but I know that I don't have what it takes to be anybody's wife at this point because I just don't like people telling me what to do and where to be, and I just don't like it. Okay, I don't like any of that stuff. It's really annoying, it's really corny, and I hate it. Yeah, so that's that. Another piece of advice I'd give to someone is that you should never ever tell a man things that you wouldn't tell a stranger or anybody else, okay? So if it's a secret, it's only gonna be a secret if only you know it, okay? If you share it with that man, just know that it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass, and it bites, okay? Because men have a way of using what you tell them against you in one way or another. Them either go tell back who you did tell them about, or whatever you did tell them, they might take it tell you, or they're gonna use it to decide how to treat you. And yeah, so keep your shit to yourself, keep your traumas to yourself, keep your experiences to yourself, and just take it for what it is. I remember some years ago I was talking to my brother, and he told me, one of my brothers, and he told me that he never sees a relationship for a long term type of thing. He just sees it momentarily for what it is in the moment, and if it works it works, and if it doesn't it doesn't. And I feel like that's how a lot of men live and how they see life, and that's how I'm seeing life right now. I'm not attaching my emotions to anything. I'm just going about my business, okay? And if something sticks, it sticks, and if it doesn't, that's fine as well. Yeah, so definitely be able to create a distance between yourself and the situation, okay? Too, I find that I'm not accepting too. Like, as soon as me see red flag, me gone out the door. I'm never ever these days. For years I've been like this now. I think my first relationship is what made me realize that I cannot make people. And so I don't feel any shame for dating around and um getting to know different people, because if I see something in you today that does not align with where I see myself and um the type of person that I'm looking for, when I'm looking, of course, I'm not gonna trick myself, and I'm not gonna think, oh, I can change him. No, I can't change anybody. I can't even change myself. Like, me want some changing right now. Me want some fixing, and me can't fix myself. So how dare I think I could fix somebody or change them or make them into something else? So I'm very cognizant of the fact that I don't have those abilities. And as a result, I just see you for who you are and what you show me and what you give me, and I take it at face value, and I say, okay, cool, this is not gonna work for me. This is not my cup of tea. So you go so, and I go so, and we respect each other, and we just move on. And that's a very important thing, because I feel like a lot of people see these signs from very early, but we might be in a state where we feel like this is our last chance. I don't know why you should ever feel like that either. Or you feel like, based on the fact that you are, maybe you have kids, maybe you're married, maybe you're thinking about the church or what people on the internet or what your friends might think, but that's no reason for you to accept things that does not align with who you are and who you see yourself to be. That's no reason for you to accept it at all. The least inconvenience these days, and I am zoops gone, legit. Like, my black finger is very happy and is very, very, very quick to hit the black button. Yeah, because I just don't want to deal with anything that makes me uncomfortable, right? So yeah, um that's a very good piece of advice that you can take if you want, and leave it if you want. Yeah, just don't see the red flags and sweep them under the carpet. Don't think you can compromise with certain things, because once you start compromising, this is you slowly losing who you are, slowly losing pieces of yourself, and you don't ever want that, okay? So hold true to who you are, and if it's meant for you, it will definitely find you. If it's not, then it won't, and that's fine. That's cool. I feel like the most important thing for everyone to know, whether man, woman, boy, or girl, is self-love. And I wish I had learned that earlier. I wish I had known how to choose me, how to say no to situations that didn't make me happy. and made me uncomfortable. And but I learned it very late. And it's never too late to learn these things and to start practicing these things. But I just wish I had learned these things sooner in life. I feel like it would have frustration and heartache and stress. Yes, I feel like it would have done that. And yeah, now I'm way better than where I'm coming from, honestly. I think if, as I keep saying, a lot of people who follow me right now have been following me from the beginning. And so if those people should talk, not just the people who have been following me, but the people who have always been in my life, who saw me through all of these experiences, these life changes, they would have known where I was coming from, and they would have seen me at my worst. So they can attest to the fact that I am doing a lot better than I was before, right? But self love is definitely paramount in everybody's journey. The moment you start learning to choose yourself, to be selfish sometimes, to just respect yourself and respect your boundaries, is the moment you will find happiness and peace. The kind of happiness and peace that you crave so much in someone, you need to find it internally first. And if you can't find that in yourself, I don't know what to tell you, but you're not gonna find it in anyone else. Trust, okay? So if you look to find peace and happiness in somebody else and you don't have it in yourself, I want to tell you, leave that situation alone and just start from scratch, okay? There are some things I wish I had done differently too. And no, because what's the point of wishing I had done those things differently back then? Because I didn't do them differently. I did them how I did them. And I learned from it while I was in that experience. So, your sanity is very important. Your peace of mind is very important. And in order for you to have your sanity and to maintain your peace of mind, you just have to maintain a healthy distance between you and everyone, you and every single situation. No matter how much you think you love somebody, never let it get to a point where you feel like you would self-destruct if they are no longer there. And if they move on, then you would die. No, you're not gonna die. Like you did not die before they came into your life. So why are you suddenly gonna die now that they came into your life and now that they're gone? And I know they might have introduced you to a kind of vibe that you don't think you will ever experience anywhere else with anyone else. But how will you know if you just don't go out and explore? So explore, live your life, enjoy yourself, do the things that makes you happy, and yeah, that's that. And that. So yeah, stay close to your friends and your family. In cases of abuse, I always tell people that abuse begins up here before it begins anywhere else. All right, abuse does not just begin with a man putting his hand on you or a woman putting his hands on you, her hands on you. I have to say man and woman these days because people are so fragile. If I talk about women, they're gonna say, oh, you not say about men. When I'm a woman, so I can only speak to women from a woman's perspective. So yeah, stay close to your friends and your family. Don't allow anyone to damage the relationship you have with your friends or your family. And don't allow anyone to cause you to isolate your friends or your family. They have been there all their life and they will be there when if these situations don't work out. So maintain your relationships. Do things for yourself as much as you would do in the relationship. So if you like to go out with your partner, learn to go out by yourself, okay? Learn to take yourself on dates. It's fun. I remember the first time I took myself on a date and I felt so shy and scared because it was a lot of people there and it was a lot of couples and everybody was coupled up and I was there alone. But before I had gone out, I had kind of talked to myself about it. I had prepared myself mentally for what I was gonna see, and I just knew that this is something I wanted to do for myself. And I feel like the moment I started dating myself, going out on dates, taking myself out, every now and then, it kind of changed my mindset and the way I saw things as well, because I realized that I don't need somebody to do this for me to make me feel special. If I want flowers, I could just buy myself flowers. If I want chocolate, I could do it. If I want a nice dress, I could do it. If I want to get my hair done, my nails done, I could do it, you know? So you should never need someone. You should want someone. It's okay to want someone. But I don't think it's healthy to need someone, because a need is something you cannot live without. A need is a necessity that you need. Like food is a necessity, because if you don't get food, you're gonna die. Okay? There's no two ways around it. If you don't get water, water is a necessity. You are gonna die. Okay? So it's not food and water. It's not the daily breath that you breathe. Okay? And those are the only things you really need in life. So in everything I'm learning these days, even as a mother, I'm learning that I come first and I have to pour into my cup before I can pour from my cup to someone else's cup. So my cup has to be maintained. The glass can't broke. It can't, else it will leak out. Um it can't, my cup cannot be empty either, else there's nothing to pour. So I have to um choose myself first in every situation, and I have to be very aware of how I'm feeling, how a situation is making me feel, and I act accordingly. So if it's not making me feel good, it just has to go. Okay? Yeah, so I think those are the tips that I have to share with y'all, and I think they are good tips that you could take. If you have any other tips of your own, of course, I'd love to see what you have. So leave it in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and watch my other videos. But thank you so much for tuning in. Another day, another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.